It is on to the second round here in the Motor City as you look at downtown Detroit, the home of Motown Czar. We are about 40 miles northwest of Detroit in suburban Auburn Hills at the Palace. It will be a sellout crowd, more than 22,000 making their way in for game one of this best of seven Eastern Conference semifinal series between the New Jersey Nets and the Detroit Pistons. That's the story a year ago. The Nets sweeping Detroit last season's Eastern Conference final series. New Jersey led by Jason Kidd, who averaged just under 24 and over 10 rebounds and 6 assists. Another key stat, the Nets outscored the Pistons in that series 94-15 in fast break points. A look at tonight's McDonald's starting lineups. And first, the visitors, the New Jersey Nets, with a backcourt of Jason Kidd and Kerry Kittles. Up front, Kenyon Martin, Jason Collins, and Richard Jefferson. The Pistons with Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton at the guards. Tayshaun Prince, who many consider to be the MVP of that opening round series against Milwaukee. He was outstanding. He's up front with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace. Now, during the course of the regular season, these two clubs split their 4 games, both teams winning, one at home, one on the road. That last meeting, March 18th, at New Jersey, Pistons won by 18 points. A game that stirred things up. The Nets intentionally fouled to set up a final possession, which ended the Pistons' NBA record streak of holding 5 straight opponents to fewer than 70 points. The Pistons did not appreciate that, although the Nets say the Pistons were over the top on their sideline as they were rooting for the defense and rooting for the record.
I really had no problem with what the Nets did because the Pistons were trying to get the record. Therefore, what are the Nets supposed to do? Lie down on them? They should compete and try and break the record if it meant that much to them, and they did that.
The officials, N.F. Rush, Lewis Thriller, Mike Callahan, and the Detroit Pistons control the opening tip.
That's Ben Wallace. He has great hands.
The steal by Jefferson. And he's all by himself. Nets with a 4.
How sharp can you be when you haven't practiced for 10 days? I mean, he's trying to give Larry Brown everything he can. Come game time, he suits up, plays his minutes. But the young man has not practiced for 10 days because of foot problems.
And Kenyon Martin with a nice post-up move to give the Nets a 6-3 lead. The team was sold during the course of the year as Rogers. Here's Kittles for 3. Yes. Kerry Kittles, who played a major role in the first round series.
2-time scores for the big men. This time, punch it in, kick it out, perimeter shot.
7 unanswered points by the Pistons. Kittles with the step. Nice move by Kerry Kittles. Detroit up by 1. O'Cool with the return pass that is picked off by Rogers. Here's Kittles for 3. Yes, that's his second from downtown.
Kerry Kittles feeling it. I mean, he's slapping his hands, calling for the ball as he's sprinting down the floor. Kerry Kittles wants it in his hands. He knows he's got it going. He calls for it from downtown. He strokes another jumper for the Nets.
And there is the man with the hot hand, Kerry Kittles, who played through a sore right knee earlier this season. He's had surgery on that knee 3 times, missed the entire 2000-2001 season, and he has come back strong.
He was told he may never play again after that last surgery, but here right in the beginning, he likes the 3-point look from downtown. Shows he can also put it on the floor with the lefty finish, and then in transition, pitch ahead, pull up, hit one more 3-pointer for Kerry Kittles.
With 6 unanswered. Pistons shoot 8 for 16 in the first quarter. The Nets only 5 of 18. Detroit up by 4. And they lead 23-14.
we saw Larry Brown get a little more confidence. There's the quick jump, the double team in the backcourt, penetration, and the layup by Jason Kidd. The attack mode for New Jersey against the pressure.
250.
This is the bruising front line with Williamson as the small forward, Okor, and then Campbell.
Lucius Harris able to knock it down. Aaron Williams. And Detroit back to Phillips and Hamilton at the guards. Williamson with Campbell and Prince. Up front, here's Williamson squeezing his way. He was looking for a foul, rebounded by Rogers.
Bob, I'll ask you this. Is this, as we see the transition three by Lucius Harris, is this early, slow offensive output from the Nets a sign of the layoff, the long layoff?
Pistons a very deep squad. As we saw during the course of the regular season, Jefferson on the block from behind. His Kidd with a nice change of pace and went to the left hand. Beautifully done by Jason Kidd. That's his second field goal. 32-25 Detroit. And the Pistons take a timeout with 3.5 to play in the first half. We'll be back to the Palace in a moment. It's a 37-25 Piston lead. 25 points, also the low for a half this season by the Nets. That's the story here at the Palace. Now let's go to our Atlanta studios. Here's Ernie.
If you do it and you back it up.
So as you know, Detroit's own Kid Rock. As we welcome you back to the Palace of Auburn Hills.
You can't get an assist if you can't make a shot. They're shooting 27% from the floor.
Another record of dubious distinction. We have seen a total of 62 points, an NBA playoff low for a first half. Kenyon Martin gets right to it to open up this third quarter. Hamilton, he thought he was fouled. Hamilton forcing, handled by Jefferson. And the Nets have tightened it up defensively in these opening minutes. Kittles from downtown.
Well, you know, one of the big factors that you look at on the stat sheet is the fact that by the field goal percentage of Detroit, they're shooting 49% from the floor. That means that you're not getting a lot of fast break opportunities, and here's one of them for New Jersey.
And Jason Kidd is able to convert. Kidd's third field goal low, the postseason low through 3 quarters. 53 points in a game, April of 2002 at Indiana. The NBA record low through 3 quarters, 38 points. After 3, Portland at Utah, May of 96. 57-39 Pistons. We'll be right back. Situation.
What about our guys in the truck who have to build these graphics? See, there's no consideration on your part for the other people.
Shot clock is down to 2. Here is Martin, Kenyon Martin. That's only his third field goal. They have been overwhelmed here by the Pistons in game 1 of this Eastern Conference semifinal. Harris, it counts, and the foul.
Harris that time taking the passes. He ran a little fade move to the baseline. There's the pass over the top by Jason Kidd. You see him get inside of Hamilton, and then the quick stop. As soon as he felt the contact, he let the ball go, hits the bucket, now to the line for a potential 3-point play.
Averaged 7 points and 7 rebounds during the regular season. Here is Kidd for 3. Jefferson able to keep it alive. Martin, nice move by Kenyon Martin.
And when I say he's got to think about the Collins situation.
And the Detroit Pistons, since Rasheed Wallace joined the team, and you can see it in the numbers in terms of this was a very good team defensively even before Rasheed Wallace was on hand, as Lucius Harris is able to go glass.
I was going to be a little bit short, just trying to be a good teammate, wanted to help him out. There's a late pass to Kittles, Kittles.
Playoff low, the record low is 54 points. And Tamar Slay is able to hit, so the Nets will not go into the books. The all-time NBA low in the playoffs, 54 points, scored by Utah against Chicago back in 1998, and the Nets only 2 points off that low record.
I would think that Lawrence Frank will go in the locker room, and he's a very positive guy with his team. He has a lot of belief in this basketball team. He'll go in there, and I think what he'll do is quickly touch on some of the negatives, but briefly, and more so turn it to the positives as he looks towards the next game, making them understand that the layoff is behind us now. We got to get back in groove.
Well, a rough night, obviously, for the New Jersey Nets. A postseason low with only 56 points. A low for the season as they are beaten by the Detroit Pistons in Game 1 of this Eastern Conference semifinal, 78-56. And the Nets' postseason winning streak against Eastern Conference opponents ends at 14. Yes, last season it was a 4-0 sweep by the Nets over Detroit. Pistons tonight led by Tayshaun Prince with 15. Richard Hamilton had 15. Ben Wallace 13 points and 11 rebounds. Kerry Kittles led the Nets with 15 points. The Nets only 19 for 70, 27% from the field, and 2 points off the all-time low in NBA playoff history. The 2004 NBA playoffs continue tomorrow here on TNT. It'll be Game 7 between the Hornets and the Heat, followed by the Kings and the T-Wolves. Coverage starting 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Coming up next, it's Inside the NBA. For the Czar, Mike Fratello, for D. Linett, this is Marv Albert saying good night from Detroit. You have been watching the 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT, the exclusive home of the Western Conference Finals.